Hi, Stephen Fortner here from Music Player Network, wrapping up NAMM 2022 with my good friend Michael Lehmann Boddicker.
Hi, Steve.
We've been doing this a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been doing it for a few years. That's great fun. I like thinking about all this stuff.
At the end of every NAMM show, we get together and kind of vlogcast about the gear that we're the most thrilled about from having been at the show for the past 3 days this year. So I think we need to start out by saying that there was a bit of a dark cloud cast over the show by the passing of Dave Smith just a couple of days before the show. Dave Smith, they invented the Prophet 5, the world's first fully programmable portable polyphonic analog synth. He is known as the father of MIDI, having written most of the code that enables all of our wonderful musical instruments to talk to one another. And so we would like to offer our condolences to his family, to his team, but we know that they will carry his work on through their love and through future products.
He also brought his friend Tom Oberheim along. And one of the nicest things of the show was to walk in and see Oberheim plastered across a huge booth. And
first thing you see when you walk in Hall Head. And that brings us to the OBX8, which won a NAMM Best in Show and Best in our hearts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One of 2 or 3 highlights of the show.
Big one.
Yeah.
Big ones. Won a NAMM Best in Show. If you haven't heard this in a dozen other places by now, it combines the circuit topologies or the sounds of the OBX, the OBX-A, and the OB8, and the OBSX.
Yes, the SX, yeah, which I hadn't heard of before, surprisingly enough. I was shocked that I missed one, but it sounds, it's creamy, it's beautiful. This is...
I don't think it's in frame, but what Mike is pointing
to... it's the third wave. It's like a recreation, only better, of the PPG wave. And it sounds even better. This is the Casio CTS-1000V, and it has a vocal synthesizer in it.
Not a vocoder.
Not a vocoder. You type in the words on an iPad, and you can type in timing if you like, or you can just trigger the timing, and then it superimposes those words on the sound. It sounds completely different, very intelligible. What knocked me out is when I walked by the booth and it said, "Welcome to Synthplex." And it was awesome. Mike Martin at Casio, they've done just a great job.
Take us to where you
Nina from Melbourne Instruments.
No.
It has motorized knobs that will all, like you move the morph knobs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was cool.
Move.
Yes.
I know the motor synth as well.
Okay, so the Melbourne one that you're talking about, if it calls up a preset, it moves the knobs all to the right.
Yes, it does. And the knobs respond to MIDI. Like I was moving a mod wheel on a MIDI controller, and the LFO knob was moving.
Oh, cool.
What's cool about that is it has a true VCO. It has a virtual analog oscillator, which they said was similar to the Udo Super 6, and it has a digital wavetable oscillator.
Best salesman of the show. Best salesman of the show. I gotta tell you, this lady happened to Steve separately from me. We're just walking on our way to appointments, and this lady, whose husband has invented the best pedal that will end all pedals ever. It has a sustain on one side and an expression pedal on the other, and there was no way. She's talking about you slide your foot across the top, but the top, the top was tacky, so you would never slide your foot unless, I guess, if you were slathered up with some kind of oil or something, maybe it would slide. But it looked interesting. Didn't have a chance to play with it, but she cornered people and got them over to her husband's booth. It was great. So that's Black BT Sussex.
And Jordan was demoing it.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Jordan Rudess of Dream Theater was demoing it.
Wow.
Did you see the Rhodes, the arcade?
I did.
What'd you think? Is that all?
I love the fact that somebody, besides retro and vintage vibe, is remanufacturing the Rhodes. If I understand correctly, this is a company out of England that was able to procure the name because of unuse, right? Kind of like what Uli had done with Oberheim.
It actually wasn't that. It was so Joe Brandcenter, who has owned the Rhodes name forever, still owns it, and he's
licensed it to them.
He licensed it, and he's sort of a silent partner. I played it, I spent some time on it. It sounds better than the Mark 7 did. It sounds like a brand new vintage Rhodes.
Really?
A lot more. The preamp can do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, it had an envelope follower.
Yep.
Right? And it had like a ridiculous amount of control over panning.
Yeah.
The depth, the speed, the wave shape, all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, you loved it.
I loved it.
This was something that was very cool from NonLinear Labs. They've had it out for a while, but they really worked hard on the presets, and it was one of those things that I didn't want to stop playing when I was sitting down at it. There were some really cool patches in there, layered patches that they did. Not that I'm a big fan of like layered upon, there are 20 things happening at once instead of one sound that works, but it sounds really good now, this C15.
So we both got to see the Silphio from a French developer called Aodia Instruments. And it is an electronic wind instrument with actual airflow. And it has many ways of modulating the sound. It senses breath, it senses timing techniques you use on a woodwind, and it senses position. So, if you're doing this, an accelerometer basically can be a modulation source. Change the filter, change the timbre, and so on.
Kenny G would go wild.
Oh, there's an accelerometer in there.
There were some interesting things. 4D was there. If you don't know 4D, you should check 4D. They're also participating with us with Pat Gleason's performance at Synthplex. The 4D, they have 32 cameras, and it's actually raw data in the 32 cameras, and so they're panning all the way around, and you go in and you do your performance, and then they put you anywhere from any angle, wherever you want to be in the world. Did you see the kilohertz?
Kilohertz, I did not.
Oh man, they have a really cool synthesizer. It's called the Phase Plant, but Phase Plant, yeah. and it had
a phase palm.
It has like 3 routing, so you can either go in series, or you can take each one of those out in parallel. You could loop them through whatever. So and it was really nice. I'm really looking forward. Kilohertz is a really nice bunch of guys, and they're also I've been buying their products like crazy when they release them. They have very useful tools.
Quickly mention Viscount, the Italian company that does drawbar organs in the style of the traditional Hammond B3. They had a new organ called the Soul 273, or the Legend Soul 273, that simulates the multiple key contacts on the original B3, where you had the bus bars running under the keys and a different bus bar, 9 in total for each harmonic. And if you pressed a key down really slowly, you could hear these harmonics cutting in at different times. If you played normally, you got this wonderful slop, especially with like full drawbars out, that you really can't duplicate on a clone.
And this is the updated model with, as Stephen has mentioned, the 9-contact system. And the really cool thing about it is that it uses a new system of magnets that essentially, once the magnets come together, that's what is creating all of the on-off kind of like non-contact system. And it's a new, totally proprietary system, and you can actually control it via software too. So the level and like when you want it to sound, all that kind of stuff can be put into each drawbar basically.
They also have a real rotary speaker called the Vortex, which in spite of having a real spinning top rotor and a real spinning bottom rotor, weighs only 70 pounds.
Wow.
Let's pick one or two more standouts. So
Just
we're
one or
over
two
time.
More?
We're over time in our meeting. I think the
Okay,
hotel's about to call home security.
Bob Moog, you check out, go help out the Moogseum, and they're doing very well. But you know, it's great. You should see it. When I've had friends who just out of the blue stop through Asheville and go on the main street and find this place, I just randomly, and they say, wow, it was great. I had a great time in there. And they're doing a lot to educate kids.
Mike and I are both on the board of advisors of the Moogs Foundation, which has multiple missions: preserving Bob Moog's legacy and archives, reaching out to schools through a program called Dr. Bob's Sound School, which uses synthesizers to educate kids about the physics of sound. And they do many other cool things as well. So please support them.
Two things which are near and dear to my heart: big ear games, kids. Yeah, big ear games. Yeah, music ed. Just any way to get a kid playing a musical game on a computer. And this is called Keys and Kingdoms, which is a game where you play the keyboard and you learn notes and music and pitch recognition as you play through a game. And it's, you know, completely harmless and PG and wonderful. And that was great.
I think this should be
the DAD. Oh, Synthplex.
Synthplex 2022, Mike's conference. We had one in 2019.
Mike's and Mike's.
Michael Boddicker, Michael Lehmann Boddicker, and Michael Lehmann. Yes.
Check it out. I mean, the people that are here, it's ridiculous. There are 4 small tables left, and all of those people are going to be here. If you love synthesizers and you love making music, making money, in a living with making music with synthesizers, the seminars are going to be off the hook. The performers are going to be great. You're going to enjoy it.
You get off the plane at the Burbank Airport, you walk to the Marriott Hotel.
Half a block.
Yeah.
Half a block.
Half a block. So thanks for joining us after another NAMM show. The hotel wants to change over our meeting room.
Oh boy.
Keeping them waiting. They're about to call the cops, and you know we're really hungry. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you next year, and we will see you at Synthplex.